Hello friends, welcome to my channel Novatech Videos, and in this video we will see how we can install the WDS RAW and do the configuration. So let's go ahead and do it. So I have another server, as you can see this is server 2019, and on this server we will install the RAW and then do the further configuration of WDS. So let's proceed. So to install the RAW, you have to click on server manager, and here you have to go to the manage, or you can click on here add remove roles, and here say next and server selection. So this is my server, this is also the domain controller, and this is always recommended to have at any other server where your domain controller is not running. But since this is my test infra, so I am installing on domain controller only. So let's proceed. Okay, and here in the server role, below down the second one role, you can see Windows Deployment Services. Here you can see the description, that is Windows Deployment Services provides a simplified, secure means of rapidly and remotely deploying Windows operating system to computers over the network. So we are going to install this role. Okay, add features, and then hit next. Then next we are not going to install any feature. Our default feature will be installed automatically. Okay, and these are two roles here, deployment server and transportation layer. So deployment server provides a full functionality of Windows deployment services, and let's see the other one, transport server provides a subset of the functionality of Windows deployment services. It contains only the core networking parts, so we don't want this, or let it go. Let's install it, restart if required. Okay, install. So the installation process of WDS is started now, so it might take some time. So during that time I will pause the video. So the role is installed. Okay, let us reboot it once again. Okay, there, continue. So it will reboot. So let me pause the video during that time. So server is back after rebooting. Let's open the role now. So tools, and then you have to select Windows Deployment Services. Okay, this is open. So as you can see, this is my domain controller, not configured. Okay, that's fine. So configure server. So first we are getting this warning, Windows Deployment Services not configured. This already not configured. To configure, right click. Okay, we'll configure the server. Configure. Okay, next. Then integrated with Active Directory or standalone. So I will go with integrated, so that Active Directory will have all the information which is on WDS. So you can go for standalone. Okay, enter the path to the remote installation folder. So this is by default, it has taken. You can change if you want, but I don't have any issue because this is my test infra, so I will go with only this one. Okay, now volume selected is also the Windows system volume, so it is always recommended to select any different, so that all the files, images that can be stored on that volume, which is other than your C drive or C volume where your operating system is installed. But I don't have an issue because this is test infra. Okay, select do not listen on DHCP, okay, v64 and configure proxy. So I don't have any proxy setting, so I'll remove all, and this is for DHCP v6 ports and I don't want those also. Okay, next. The next setting you can see PXE server initial setting. So this is very important. So how you want to wave this server when any client reports for installation. So it will respond to all or do not respond to any client machine or respond to all client computers known or unknown. So I'll go with this one, but in your infra you can go for anyone, and these options can be changed later also. So require administrator password, yes, the security level is there, the password is required. So without password it will not proceed further. So I'll go with this option. Okay, now it's starting configuring. So it might take some time, so let me pause the video. So the configuration is done and let me finish it. Okay, you can see here, but here you can see the service is not yet started. That's what you are seeing, this kind of stop icon on the domain or the server. So let me start it. Okay. Okay, successfully started, and here you can see the icon is changed to play. So this is done. So this is actually after configuration we have this view available. So now let's go ahead and add the boot image. So I have already operating system. This is Windows 10 Enterprise, and I want to deploy this to the machines. So firstly I'll add the boot image, and after that I'll add install image. So this is mandatory, so you can add the multiple images as per your requirement, like Windows 2012, Windows 2016. So this is basically the boot file which will be come into the picture when the machine boots up, and the installation file, they will help install the operating system on the targeted machine or computer. So let's go ahead and do it. So firstly I'll add the boot image. So you have to just right click on that, add boot image, and here you have to give the path where you have kept your Windows, and Windows, you can see here the sources. So this comes with all the images, and here you can see two files are already there, boot.vim and install.vim. So this is my boot. So in each operating system, if you are downloading any ISO, it will be available. So that's done. Say next. If you want to change the image name or the image description, you can change it. So I'll change it to Win10 ENT Enterprise, so that I can easily recognize this, and this will show me this is 64-bit. And next, then Microsoft Windows setup, that's fine. Okay, so it started adding. So that's added now, and now let me add the, similarly you can add the server images or Windows 7 or any of the Windows operating system. You can add the boot image, and here you have to add the install image. So add image, okay, So I'll create one group because I already don't have the group. So this is win 10 group. That's fine. So give a logical name so that you can easily recognize this. For what purpose the group was created, and in a single group you can have multiple images on it. So let's go next, and now the same location you have to go with. So this is my operating system, that is on desktop, and here again you have to go into sources and select this step. Last time we selected boot.vim, and this time this is the installed image, so we will select this one. Okay, next, and you can see enterprise architecture is this one. So give it default Windows 10. Okay, and let it add. So it is going to take some time, so let me pause the video for that time. So the image is loaded, and let me click finish. And now we have one boot file and one image. So now let's walk me through the options which we have on DFS. So these are very important, and you have to configure these options before proceed. So PXE response, you can see this was the same option which I shown you at the starting when the WDS configuration was running. So let me configure this. So this requires password, and without password the computer installation will not start. And if you want to give any delay, you can select the time. So I will give it as 5 seconds. Okay. Let me open once again. So here we go. So this is already configured ADDS, and this is very important part actually. So there are some formats available online. You can select and you can check those formats. But this is regarding the naming convention of the computers. So when the computers are getting installed, what name or the name format or the naming convention will be used. So this is for that. And here you have to define the location, in which part. You can see I have two domains, so I will go with this, and but the default to you that will be the computers, and you can choose anyone in your infra. Okay, this is fine. And next, here's the boot. So boot, so you want to press F12 to boot from the PXE. So this is also always good to have or configure this F12 option for the PXE boot, so that you will come to know that yes, this is the deployment from WDS server. So this is for unknown client, this is for known clients. I leave it as a default. And here you can see if you have any 32-bit operating system deployment, then you can select this one, but we don't have. We have the 68-bit, so I will go with this one. And you can see this is the something boot image file. So I will show you. So this is very important. The same configuration has to be done on DHCP server to recognize this is the image need to be installed. So let me copy this so that later on we can do the configuration on DHCP as well. And here the client side unattended. So this is one of a very programmatic the path. There is a XML file. If you have unattended file, you can configure that file for all ready-made things like your domain and your language, your time zone, so everything, each and every detail you can mention in XML file, and you can serve that file over here. You have to give the path, but I don't have that file. But if you want, you can create that file with the help of some other tutorials. So let me uncheck this, and here joining a domain. So you want the computer which is being installed should be joined to domain or not. So this is up to you. You can select that. So yes, I want to join that PC into the domain. And the next option, that is enable client login. So if you enable this, so if there is any warning or something, you can during that installation you can recognize, identify, and troubleshoot. And next option is DSCP configuration. Yes, so DSCP you have to configure, and these ports should be opened. 67, that is a DSCP port, should be opened. So yes, we will leave it as default, as we are going to configure the DSCP options as well. TFTP, I leave it as default. This is to define the block size, so I leave it as default. And then boot, I think we are done with all. Yes, this is one more important. So how you want to assign the IP address to the client machine which will be installed with this operating system. So if you want to use your DSCP server, you can select here. Otherwise you can define any range over here, and this will start providing the IP addresses to the machines. So I'll go with this. And transfer settings, so I leave it as default. I don't have any issue with the bandwidth, so I leave it as default. So I think we are good to go. And here domain controllers allow Windows deployment service to dynamically discover valid domain service. So if you are sitting on a remote location and you have to specify that domain controller where you want to get it authenticated, then you can select. You have to just click on that, and here you have to give the domain controller name. But I have only 2 domain controllers, so I don't have an issue. I leave it as default, and I think we are good. Let me save the settings. So that is done, the configuration part, and let me show you the pending devices. So whatever devices are coming and those required approval, and you will approve them from here. Without your approval, the installation will not happen. And here the multicast transmission, so you can configure the multicast transmission. So let me do it. This is Win10. So this is good while you have the multiple machines to install the operating system. So let me do it. Okay, this is my operating system. Autocast, leave it as default, and just finish. So that's it. You can add more images if you have. And here this portion, actually you can install the drivers. So you have to collect all the INF files from all the OEMs. If you have Dell, HP, IBM, whatever you have to take the drivers, INF files, and accept only the INF files. And here you can add the packages. You can create the groups for specific OEMs. Like if you have HP, so you can create a group for HP, and you can enable disable packages here. So this is, but I don't want any driver as of now because everything is coming in built. So let's do the DSCP configuration as well. So this one we have to copy, this is our architecture. Control C. Okay, let me go to my DHCP server, and here itself this is my DHCP server as well, because I have configured the failover on the server. So let me open the DHCP. Okay, DHCP. Okay, and here I have this scope. So let us configure the scope options. So PXE, this is already added. So PXE. So this option is by default added, and that is for PXE client, and that's fine. And let's configure the other option as well. So here you have to look for 66. This is the option. This is boot server host name. So you have to give the boot server host name. So in my case, that is DC2. Yes, DC2. This is the same server. Okay, DC2, let's save the setting, and here the boot file and the file which we copied, you can see the description, boot file name. So my boot file name is here. So this is my boot file name. Say apply, then okay, close this. So we are done with the DHCP configuration. So all settings we have defined, and our DHCP server is ready. Let's go ahead and quickly check it whether it's working or not. So for that I have to create a machine. Let me go to create machine. Okay, advanced workstation. Okay, next. This is my workstation. I install the operating system later. Microsoft Windows, Windows 10. Okay, let me give the installation folder. DFS. Okay, so this is the folder. Okay, leave it at default. I'll give to CPU. Okay, that's fine. Network setting, this is very important. It should be in the defined network. So this is fine. Okay, SPG, create new virtual disk. That should be 20 GB is fine for me, since this is testing. Okay, fine, and finish. So machine is ready. Let me check the network. This is the same network. No, I have another network. This is my network series of domain and related services. So we'll select this. I started the machine and I am booting from EFI network. Okay, select yes. It is picking the IP address WDS, and press enter for network boot services. Okay, WDS boot manager version. Okay, press enter, network boot, and here waiting for approval. So this is waiting for approval. So let me show you where to approve. So let's go back to our WDS server. Here we'll check WDS pending devices. Let me refresh. So here you can see this is pending for approval. So approve it. Name or approve, you can give the name also of the machine name. So let me give the device name. This is desktop create, and if you want to give the OU you can give, but OU we already selected, so let's give next. Preferred server we don't want, okay, next. Reference server, unattended file, we can give the file as well here and finish. So this is now approved. So this device is approved. So let me quickly check that. So you can see the installation is started. So that is being completed. Okay, this is being done. And you can also create the unattended file. If you want, you can go through one of my video which I created for XML. So this everything whatever being asked, that will be already configured in unattended file, that will be XML file. So I am leaving it as default. And next. So this is now the approval, because I set in WDS server without approval or without credential, this will not go ahead. So let me do it. DC-1 or the domain AD, let me give administrator. You can use your domain or enterprise or any privilege account. Okay. And this is somewhere required, because if by mistake any user press the button F12 and the installation process is started, so I would recommend you to go with the credentials, so that on this first stage the installation will stop. So it is asking for yes installation. Okay, next. And drive, what we selected, that is drive. Okay, next. So this is started, and once the installation is completed, I will show you whether we have given the name that is reflecting over there or not. So this is how we can configure, and this is one of the best way to install the operating systems. Either it could be your server or any endpoint operating system. So the installation is started. So meanwhile, let's go back to the WDS server, and here you can see we have Windows 10 multicast transmission. So if you have multiple machines to install the operating system, then this is important to configure the multicast transmission. So at the same time, those machines can be configured or started. And here you can again integrate to the Active Directory. So that's it in this video, and hope you understood how we can configure the WDS role on Server 2019 and how to manage and what are the options mandatory to configure it. And if you are enjoying my videos and you finding them informative, please do subscribe so that you can get the information of my upcoming videos. And thanks for watching.